Hey everyone, I wanted to give you a quick tour of our garden this year. It's not that fancy, but I am proud of it. It's the largest garden we've ever grown here on the farm. And so I just wanted to give you a quick tour. So here we go. First, as we look here along our 6-foot fence, because we have deer here, we have our raspberries and blueberries all planted along the fence. And right next to those, we have 5 apple trees that are growing, and they are 3 years old now, and they're still alive. So for Wyoming, that's a huge feat so far. So as you can see, berries along the fence, then trees, and then the garden. And in the back corner over here, we have our beehives, and they are buzzing, so I'm not gonna get too close. I did want to show you along the back side here, we are attempting carrots. For some reason, I don't do very well at carrots because I don't germinate them very well with something to cover them, but they are growing. So carrots are here this year. I was going to try and companion plant some tomatoes, but I didn't get those in yet. So that may or may not happen. Over here, we have, I'm gonna try not to get sprayed here. We have some pumpkins starting to grow over here, and those have a little bit of space to grow out. On the far edge, we have corn, and then we've got onions over here, and then we've got cucumbers and pole beans over here. I'm going to attempt to companion plant pumpkins or squash with the corn once it gets rolling. And then here we've got beets and broccolini. The broccolini is also companion planted with some of our potatoes right here. And as you can see, this is our first time trying this type of garden. It is a bugger keeping all the grass and the weeds out, but so far it's working. Plants are growing, so that's what's important. And then we have 2 rows of potatoes this year. We usually grow 4 rows, but I didn't have room this year. And then we also did another row of onions with some tomatoes down over there, and then some more onions and beets on the end here. Over on this far corner, this is a work in progress. It's not pretty at all, but we did plant some asparagus a few years ago, and it's still surviving. So we've had 3 harvests so far. But there's 4 plants here and then another 5 over there, but it's still alive. Again, this is not pretty, you guys, but it's working. So we've got asparagus growing, it's flowering, and then there's so much thistle out here that I am slowly starting to put cardboard down everywhere with mulch, and I'm hoping to do that in the entire garden eventually, but right now, that's all I've gotten done. And the garden is a full-time job itself. So that's our garden. It's nothing fancy. Our garden is a work in progress, and I would love some advice. If you have any comments you'd like to share about what you're doing in your garden and what's worked for you over the years, I'd really like to know. That's how I've learned everything I've done so far, and my garden is growing. That's all I can ask for here in Wyoming. Eventually, someday, maybe this will be a greenhouse, but right now we're just planting in the ground. We won't get to our raised beds until fall when we plant garlic, and I'll show you that garden area later, but right now we just didn't get to it this year. We've been pretty busy, and we want to make sure we spend time with family doing some camping trips this summer. So that's what we got done this year. Would love to hear from you. Hope you enjoyed this tour. Bye-bye.